What is up, guys? Happy Friday night, the 24th of November. Dennis Sullivan here, Sports Snippets with Dennis Sullivan, here to spend a few minutes, as I usually do, talk about the Miami Dolphins with their 34-13 convincing victory over the now 4-7 New York Jets. Want to explain this one the best I can. As always, you do like the content, this particular video, you know what to do. Go ahead, hit that thumbs up. That would be fantastic. Feel free as well to subscribe to my channel, Sports Snippets with Dennis Sullivan. That would be awesome. Now, going into this one, that looked like a capacity crowd in New Jersey, where the Jets play. I know they call them New York, but they do play in New Jersey, as far as I know. And that looked like a pretty filled-up stadium to watch a 4-6 football team lose by 3 touchdowns and fall to 4-7. So credit to you, Jet fans. You keep sticking by your team, and I got to give credit where credit is due. The Dolphins, really, I mean, you could say a few things on this one. The defense, of course, was outstanding against a Jet offense that really isn't going anywhere. I mean, they're playing their third-string quarterback, who had a terrible time. I can't say he had a terrible game, because a lot of this, I think, is the offensive line for the Jets, guys. But Tim Boyle, who would actually complete 27 passes out of 3,879 yards, he did throw that touchdown to Garrett Wilson, but then he was intercepted twice. They would struggle and struggle and struggle. So let's get to the Dolphins, though. Let me talk about the team that I like talking about each and every week. And this win would improve the Miami Dolphins to 8-3. They still maintain and extend their lead in the AFC East over the Buffalo Bills, who need to start winning games. I mean, the pressure is on the Bills. I know they did win last week, I do believe, but still. Bills are about 6-5, if I'm not mistaken, heading into this week. It was a game that featured, really, the interesting thing about this one, each team returned an interception for a touchdown, otherwise known as a pick six. The play of the game, of course, was the Holland 99-yard interception return for a touchdown. That was outstanding. Brandon Eccles had one for 30 yards, returned for a touchdown, where Tua basically threw him the ball. It's almost like he threw it right to him. He just stepped right in, intercepted it, and went 30 yards for a touchdown. The Holland one, however, that was interesting to end the first half. Picks it off and goes the distance, the entire football field, basically. Scores a touchdown. No time left in the first half. They kicked the extra point to go up 17-6. And the second half, they outscored them pretty much by the same amount, 17-7. And we add all that together, 34-13. Tua, not one of his sharper games, because he did throw another interception. He would finish with 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown, 243 yards. Raheem Mostert had a nice game, 20 carries, 94 yards, 2 rushing TDs, including that last one that just basically iced the game. Jeff Wilson Jr. was a nice compliment to Mostert, 11 carries, 56 yards. Darrington Evans had 2 carries for 16 yards. Tyreek Hill, a carry for 2. Tua gets credited with 1 yard on the ground, 2 carries. And Mike White, which was more of a running out the clock victory formation kind of scenario, would nonetheless generate a stat of 1 carry for minus 2 yards. Dolphins will go on the road next weekend, which is going to be on the 3rd of December, to Washington to take on the Commanders, who are definitely struggling, guys. They are. Dolphins look to get their 9th win next weekend. Jets will host the Atlanta Falcons. Both teams play at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, the first Sunday in December. Jaylen, Waddle. So you always got to like the games where Waddle and Tyreek both excel, and this was one of them. Waddle had 8 catches, 114 yards. Tyreek 9 for 102 and a touchdown. You got to love that. Wilson Jr. out of the backfield did a good job with 3 carries, 17 yards. He was effective. He had a nice game. Durham Smythe, a catch for 10. You can't really, no complaints there. No complaints there, guys. Durham Smythe is good. He's a good, reliable receiver for a tight end. We just don't throw to our tight ends that much at all. I remember when we had Mike Gesicki, and I was thinking to myself, this guy's going to be a 1,000-yard receiver. And if you watch some of my old videos from a few years ago, and it never panned out as far as him consistently being utilized in the passing game, because the Dolphins really don't throw a lot to their tight ends. They do, but not a lot. Already talked about Tim Boyle, Breece Hall. So the Jets only ran the ball 10 times. Breece Hall, really their time of possession was minimal. They mostly threw. Breece Hall, 7 carries, 25 yards. Dalvin Cook, only 1 carry, 2 yards. Boyle, 2 for 2. Garrett Wilson would lead the Jet receivers, 7 catches, 44 yards, touchdown. Tyler Conklin, 4 catches, 33 yards. Hall out of the backfield, 7 for 24. Jason Brownlee had 2 for 20. So you look at the Jets, I'm telling you, you got guys like Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. I mean, they're good players. I don't think it's all the quarterback guys. I really don't. When I see this Jet team, it's a combination, I think, of you got to get your offensive line squared away. The Dolphins used to have that problem themselves up until not that long ago. And then you got to get a little bit more imaginative, I think, on offense. They're just very kind of plain humdrum offense that I see when I watch this team. And I don't watch them very often, really. If they're on nationally televised game, I'll check them out a little bit when they play the Dolphins. Cook out of the backfield, 2 for 19. Jeremy Rucker, 2 for 18. Xavier Gibson caught 2 passes for 15 yards. And last but not least, Nick Bawden had a catch for 6 yards, everyone. So that's where we stand. I hope you're enjoying your Thanksgiving holiday weekend, of course. And if you're a Dolphin fan, this was a nice addition to that weekend. I thought we played fairly well. The defense, as I mentioned, looked good. It looked good overall, but that's a tough measuring stick, really, when you're going against a team that is depleted on offense. They just are. They don't have Aaron Rodgers. We know the whole story there. The offense continues to run the ball very well. For almost, 200 yards? We had about 150 150 between Mostert and Wilson. About close to 270, 265, somewhere in that range. 170, 165, somewhere in that zone. The Dolphins would run the football. I think they were just under, they were around, make that 400 total yards. They were right in that of total offense. So the offense was clicking. Didn't always look smooth, didn't always look timed out or timed well. There were a few turnovers, as mentioned, so it wasn't a thing of beauty all the time, but nonetheless, Dolphins were very effective today on both sides of the ball. And that's all I got for now, guys. This was nice. This was a good win. We get to watch some of the other games on Sunday now and not worry about the Dolphins and stress on that whole situation. Not that it's that stressful. It's only watching football, but we don't got to worry about any Dolphin games on Sunday. So we get to watch some of the other teams. Let me know what you think. I will talk to you soon. And bye for now.